What if I told you that the life you're living isn't really yours, that the career you chose, the opinions you defend, the friends you laugh with might all be pieces of a puzzle you didn't even choose to solve? There's a silent epidemic in our time, not depression, not anxiety, but the quiet, creeping death of the self. Today, we're going to talk about how you lose who you are and how to find your way back. 1. The identity you were given from the moment you were born. You were assigned a name, but also a set of roles. The quiet one, the good girl, the future doctor, the family's hope, the one who always smiles. And slowly, you started shaping yourself around those roles, not because you loved them, but because love was given if you played them right. Your identity was never fully yours. It was a performance for approval. And the longer you performed, the more real it felt, until one day, the applause stopped, and you were left wondering who you were without it. 2. The digital mirror. Then came the digital age, and suddenly, you didn't just perform for family, you performed for strangers. Likes, comments, algorithms, trends. You shaped your opinions, your image, your interests to be liked, followed, shared. But the price was steep. You stopped asking, do I like this? Do I agree with this? Do I even care? Because you were too busy managing perception. What they think of you became more important than what you think of you. 3. The loneliness of being liked. Here's the paradox. You might be admired, respected, even envied, but you feel lonely. Why? Because deep down, you know they don't really like you. They like the version you've carefully created, the persona, the projection. And every compliment feels hollow because it's not touching the real you. It's bouncing off a mask you wish you could take off, but forgot how to. 4. The soul's alarm clock. But here's the thing. The real you doesn't die. Sleeps. And when it starts to stir, it doesn't whisper, it aches. That strange restlessness you can't explain. The lack of meaning in your wins. The discomfort in rooms that used to feel safe. The moments when silence feels like truth knocking at the door. This is the soul's alarm clock. It rings not with answers, but with discontent. It's asking, are you ready to remember who you are? 5. The invisible cage. But remembering is hard, because your life is now a cage, and it doesn't look like one. It looks like a great job. A busy schedule. A normal life. But it's built on shoulds. I should be grateful. I should be happy. I should keep going. So you do. And the cage becomes more comfortable than freedom, because freedom means one terrifying thing: letting go of who you're not. 6. The first break. The first break always feels like failure. It might be a relationship ending. A burnout that forces you to stop. An identity crisis that unravels everything. But what if that breakdown is actually a breakthrough? What if it's not your life falling apart, but the mask? Pain has a strange power. It breaks illusions better than logic ever could. And in the rubble of what used to be, you finally hear a whisper. This isn't who I am. 7. The fear of starting over. But then comes the fear. If I'm not that, then who am I? This is where most people run back to the mask. To what's familiar, even if it's fake. Because starting over feels like death, not just of ego, but of everything you used to believe. But starting over isn't weakness. It's rebirth. And every rebirth is violent. It tears. It burns. It silences. But it also cleanses. 8. The return to self. And then slowly, it happens. You stop laughing at what you don't find funny. You stop agreeing just to avoid conflict. You walk away from things that drain you, even if they used to define you. You stop asking for directions, because you realize you've had a compass all along. Your voice becomes quieter, but heavier with truth. Your presence becomes smaller, but deeper. You stop being everywhere and finally arrive in yourself. 9. Rebuilding your inner home. You begin the real work, not of becoming someone else, but of remembering who you've always been. You rebuild your inner home with boundaries made of honesty, windows open to curiosity, doors closed to shame, and slowly, people around you change. Some leave, some stay, some arrive for the first time, drawn not to your performance, but to your presence. This is how it begins, not with fireworks, but with a quiet knowing you're finally living your life. 10. The cost and the gift. Yes, It costs you everything fake, but it gives you everything real. You may lose followers, but you gain alignment. You may be misunderstood, but you feel understood by yourself. And that, in a world addicted to pretending, is the rarest freedom there is. If you felt the ache of living a life that's not really yours, now is the time to answer it. Let us know in the comments, what's one thing you've realized was never really you? And don't forget, watch the next video on screen to dive even deeper into the awakening that's already begun.